Days are not looking good for incumbent President Joe Biden because while he's hopeful of a rerun in the upcoming elections in the USA, but there are just too many, so to say, goof-ups or mispronunciations that are taking place. In the recent, there was a NATO summit, and this is very crucial, specifically with regard to Ukraine-Russia war. Biden mistakenly referred to Zelenskyy, who is, of course, Ukrainian president, as President Putin. It was a major verbal slip-up at the summit. He also misidentified Vice President Kamala Harris, Vice President of the USA. Biden addressed Kamala Harris, who's been a close aide to Biden all these years, as Vice President Trump. Now, remember that in any other situation, this may be seen as a slip-up that can happen to anyone. But Biden is constantly facing a lot of scrutiny in the past few weeks, specifically ahead of elections, if he should be running again. And can he take on Trump really, who is also looking stronger? And just too many slip-ups and issues that are cropping up with regard to Joe Biden, specifically with regard to his health concerns.
And now I want to hand it over to the president of Ukraine, who has as much courage as he has determination. Ladies and gentlemen, President Putin. Look, I wouldn't have picked Vice President Trump to be vice president, but I think she was not qualified to be president. So let's start there.
So this, remember, is reflective, and not once but twice, to even misidentify his own close aide Kamala Harris, perhaps is raising a lot of questions. It's become a discussion point even among the Democrat supporters of should Biden continue to hold on. Joining me now from New York this morning is Lenka White. She's a senior journalist. She's constantly been tracking all the latest. Lenka, welcome back to India Today television. Now, you know, it was all happening, let's say, in the Democrat circles and perhaps in a debate. But this time, to go to a NATO summit and even misidentify Zelenskyy, and Zelenskyy with Putin, no less, that clearly must have been some embarrassment.
Good morning, Pooja. Thank you so much for having me again. As you said, I mean, calling Zelenskyy Putin is, you know, it's a big deal, right? You don't want to exchange sort of word enemies and call them different names. And also, you don't want to call your Vice President Kamala Harris your enemy Donald Trump. I mean, as you mentioned, if we would look at this in a vacuum, it could be like, okay, it happens to everyone. We all sometimes make a mistake. We all sometimes misspeak and call someone a different name. But looking at this in connection with the debate we had almost 2 weeks ago, that's still not great, right? The debate was a catastrophe. He couldn't talk. We were not able to understand what he wanted to say. And as former President Trump said, he didn't think he actually knew what he's saying either. And after all this, seeing this press conference, to be honest, I think it did exceed expectations of many. He sounded way better than during the debate with Donald Trump. But as you mentioned, still there were mistakes. He called his vice president Trump, which is a huge mistake. And then the words were sort of flowing, but you could hardly understand.
And the sort of misidentification he's done. I mean, Zelenskyy with Putin and Kamala Harris with Trump, like known arch rivals. This is absolutely causing a lot of confusion and also a debate. If this is just a slip-up, should be allowed, or perhaps it's time for him to step. We've heard that some celebrities also have started to have some differing opinions on this. Like, I appreciate you joining us. That's all the time I have this morning. Thank you, and we'll communicate again soon. Thank you, Lenka White.